Hi, my name is Peggy LaPointe, and this is Talking Trash, a Green Tips podcast, a chance for me to dive into the world of environmental issues by talking to people in business, government, and nonprofits, folks knee-deep in the field of sustainability. Talking Trash is brought to you by the Energy Management and Water Conservation programs at Lane Community College. Both are two-year degree programs, are fully online, and employment opportunities are growing in the water conservation and energy management fields. For more information on these online two-year degree programs, go to nweei.org or find the direct links at KINK.FM. The energy and water programs are funded by the National Science Foundation and scholarships are available. Talking Trash is also supported by Biketown. Biketown is Portland's bike share program with 1,000 bikes and over 100 stations across downtown and several neighborhoods. Now's the time to ride. Ride over to biketownpdx.com. Welcome to Talking Trash. Episode 15 features Mel Vinson, District Manager with Laughing Planet, a Portland-based quick-service restaurant that sources clean, whole foods from local farmers and ranchers. So we met at a green business conference put on by really not just the city of Portland, but other cities, Beaverton, Hillsborough, and the communities, surrounding cities at a green business conference in March. Mm-hmm. And you were one of the speakers. Yes. And when you were talking, I got really excited because A, I love Laughing Planet. The food is great and the salsa is my favorite. But B, your excitement about all the initiatives that Laughing Planet has put forth, I think got everyone really excited. So I want to talk about that. And you are the manager at...
Yes, so I, for the last year, I've been the general manager at the Cedar Mill location, but as of January, I actually got promoted to be a district manager, and my district is Lake Oswego, Cedar Mill, and Gabriel Park.
And you were talking, the one thing in particular that caught, I think, everyone's attention at the conference was your talk about the naked burrito, of course.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the naked burrito, but I also want to talk about some of the other things at Laughing Planet. So let's talk about, let's go big first with a naked burrito.
Let's go big.
Yeah, let's go big. So talk about that.
So a little bit of backstory for me. I actually came from corporate finance at a big bank. I worked there for almost 7 years, and at the same time I worked at the bank, a lot of my tenure at Laughing Planet was at the same time. So I worked 2 full-time jobs at 2 very different companies in 2 various positions that had nothing in common other than I got a paycheck from both. The bank was very big, and every day at that bank I saw a lot of waste, paper waste, trash, not recycling, a lot of things that were the opposite of my values, whereas working at Laughing Planet, everything they did was 100% in line with reusing, recycling, composting, everything that I held dear to my heart. Yeah. And so when I hit a point in my careers where it was time to eventually decide which company would take me to the next level, I went with Laughing Planet. And I've been so thrilled and so privileged to work there because they have the values I have, but they set me free to add my own seasoning and my own values to my job. And so when I became the GM last May, I really just dove in and added recycling programs. I added additional initiatives for my staff and for my guests. And the biggest one was the naked burrito, which, as you know, is a burrito that we serve in-house that doesn't have foil on it. Yeah. And for me, it was the easiest thing in the world because none of our other food is wrapped in-house, so why would we wrap this one item? And so I just started asking people, are you eating here? Do you need foil today? And the look on people's faces was just like, no, why would I even need that? It's just that we've been attuned to thinking that we need these things. And so after about 3 months of this, our numbers went from like 1 or 2 a week to over 100 a week, to 200 a week, to now we've done thousands of burritos without foil. And customers, it's so normal for them now because they have this rhythm of, the naked burrito is normal. The foil burrito is not normal. Yeah. So it's been really great to kind of turn the mindset of not only my team, but my community into just realizing the impact they can make by a small change.
And that's huge because I had a conversation with Karen Lichtig. She was one of the first people I interviewed. And at their Seven Corners Cafe, That's a zero waste cafe, and they charge for the cups. And so they're asking, like you and everyone at your stores are asking. And it got me thinking because a couple of weeks ago, I went downstairs after work, and it was a leisurely afternoon, and I thought, I'm going to sit here and have a hot apple cider.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a big chain coffee shop. And so I got a mug,
Mm-hmm.
and I sat there, and as I was sitting there just sort of relaxing, I looked around at everybody, and there were about a dozen other people there who drank their beverages there the entire time in paper cups.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what if this big chain coffee shop started asking their customers, would you like that in a mug?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be drinking that here today?
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about how many cups this big chain coffee company goes through every day, what a difference that would make.
Exactly.
And it's that mindset change.
It's all a mindset change. We also started asking guests when they came for their to-go items, or they called in an order ahead, or if they were taking to-go, did you bring your own bag or do you need one?
Yeah.
And kind of putting that little seed into their mind of, I could bring my own bag, but it's so easy just to grab one. So I made a reward program for the guests. Instead of charging, I reward them with a reward stamp on their card where if they get enough stamps, they can get a free meal. So for me, it's a game. It's a prize. You know, it's an incentive to do good. And we have a very loyal following of people. And some people have bought these really cute bags, and some people reuse the same old paper bag that we gave them years ago. But the attitude is there, the rhythm is there, and just thinking ahead about what you could do, but you're being rewarded for it, just yields such positive results.
Right. And when the Laughing Planet that I go to is on the east side, we talked about that at the Belmont location. And yeah, if I'm driving, I just grab a grocery bag. If I'm biking there, you know, same thing. I grab a grocery bag, and they'll ask, do you want a bag? And we talked after you spoke at the Green Conference. And I said, what if I brought my own container for salsa? Mm-hmm. And you said, well, if you came to my stores, I would do it. So I tried it. Last time I was at the Belmont location, I had my 16-ounce glass jar, and I said, could you put the salsa in here? And they were about to, but they didn't have enough salsa.
Oh, no.
So I was so happy that they were willing to do that if I brought my own jar, because, you know, why not?
Mm-hmm. And I think that people like you and me that have that mindset of what can I do as one person to inspire change is really what's going to yield change, because those ideas getting circulated in our community can really spark that joy and that passion from other people. Yeah. And I love that you're like that. And, you know, for me, I often think about what other changes could I make? And I'm starting small, but you have to realize that building a rhythm over time, you have to start small, but it'll continue to yield results.
Yeah. So tell me some of the other initiatives that have taken place. We talked a little bit before the microphones came on, and I told you I remember when the water station was put in and the reusable cups were there. And those are, you know, a lot of small incremental things, but tell me some of the other items that have been going on at the stores.
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones for us is actually composting food waste. From the store, we order from our central commissary kitchen every day through reusable containers. So all the food that we make and produce each day is coming to us in a reusable container. The food waste that we have is usually what's left over on guests' plates, or if something falls on the ground, or, you know, something is too old or not quality to serve to our guests, but that is very minimal. Mm-hmm. But we discovered that we were just dumping it in the trash for so long that we had to spend so much more money on plastic bags and a lot of trash output. But we added composting in, and we do about 2 5-gallon like paint buckets full of just food scraps, like avocado husks or pits and scraps from guests' plates. And that's been amazing to not go in the landfill, but instead to be used to grow new soil.
Right.
Another one that I'm really passionate about is soft plastics. This is a really unknown recycling program, and Washington County Recycling really dove in with me, and they provided some bins where if you have any soft, non-crinkly plastic, you can put it in these bins, and then 2 to 3 times a week, I'll end up taking it to a participating grocery store like Safeway or Fred Meyer or QFC, and they have soft plastic recycling bins.
And you're talking about the plastic wraps and stretchy plastic. Yeah.
Correct. And so with that, we've been able to reduce our trash output by another full bag per day. So when I first started, we were outputting about 6 big, those huge black trash bags, about 6 per day, just on a regular day. And just through composting and the soft plastics, we've reduced it down to barely 3 bags a day.
That's amazing.
Which is incredible, because every time I see a full trash bag, it makes my stomach just turn like I'm not doing a good thing for the planet here.
Right.
But just that rhythm with my team and with our guests, and letting them know it's okay to leave your food on your plate in our bus bins. We'll take care of it. We'll compost it. You have some soft plastic. We're going to take care of it for you. And they're on board.
Exactly. And I saw the sign. I was with my 12-year-old, and I told him I was going to be talking to you. And I saw the sign by the bus bins, and it said, leave everything on your plate. We'll compost and recycle everything, which is great.
It's been awesome. And just to kind of watch those guests that aren't sure, I run over. I'm like, we'll take care of it. Don't worry. Like, we don't want that in the trash. We'll sort it out for you. And it can be something that a lot of people would look at as a tedious task, but for me, it's an amazing task. Yeah. And for my team, they know exactly where the recycling goes for, cardboard and plastic and paper and bottles, and how to clean the bottles so that they're going into the correct location, and aluminum cans and everything that you can possibly think of. And of course, there will be some trash output that we have, but it's so minimal compared to what it was that I feel that we can keep pushing forward and inspiring other people to do the same.
Right. Well, and I saw that one of the reasons behind going to the reusable cups and silverware and that sort of thing was not only to save money, but also to keep that out of the garbage. And the result is you're hiring a dishwasher. And I remember reading an article, and I think it was the manager from the downtown, maybe the PSU store, who said, we're not putting that money into disposable items, we're putting it into a person. And I mean, I just saw that quote, and I thought, what a great feeling that is.
Exactly.
Is to know that it's not just literally being thrown, the money's not literally being thrown away. It's going to help somebody.
And we really invest in our employees and our guests, and that's a huge part of why I left corporate banking, is because I felt like I didn't have an identity. I was just another body. But at Laughing Planet, I feel like I belong. I have a purpose. I am valuable. I am not replaceable. And I'm happy that our savings are going back into my team and then to our community as well.
So the staff that you're hiring and the staff that is interacting with guests, I remember Karen saying that, her staff and her manager there were completely bought in. They were excited about it. And they, that was part of their mission as well. Is that your experience with your staff?
Absolutely. And it took a while, and I just beat that drum. I was like, I see that you're giving away a lot of bags. Is there a reason why? Why is the guest automatically getting a bag? What if they just have one item? They don't need it, And it's just that I think it's an American mentality of we want stuff. Whatever is available, we'll just take it. So I moved all of our to-go packaging behind the counter, and it's on request now. And so the guests that need a fork, they know that they absolutely need one to ask for it. We ask the question, did you bring your own bag or do you need one, in that manner, so that it plants that seed of, I'm not automatically getting something. Right. I could change my mindset to be better. And I would say it took about 3 months, which, is kind of a good season to figure out your rhythm.
Yep.
But the naked burritos caught on immediately. I would say it was about 3 weeks of just hard, dedicated work, asking the questions. I had little signs on the register and said, foil ? And then everyone would just remember. And now it's just an automatic thing. It's just a part of our day. We don't think about it, but we think about the impact. And in the Green Business Conference, I always equate how much foil we save to a really funny measurement.
Right.
I think it was something like 3,000 little tiny candy hearts lined up. At one point, we had like 300 giraffes stacked up, and the length of the Hawthorne Bridge, the St. John's Bridge, and the Fremont Bridge all combined. Just if you took a foil and just stretched it all the way, that would be the length of the impact that we saved, which not only is a material, but carbon output.
Right.
So by not using it, we're not just physically not having material, but we're actually reducing input from the carbon output as well.
Exactly. So do you find that staff comes to Laughing Planet in part because of the sustainability aspects that they have always had? Is that part of it?
I would say yes. The last couple hires that I've had I asked them, why do you want to work for Laughing Planet? And the answer has been the same across various people is, I want to work for a good company that cares and gives back. And there's numerous ways that they can do that.
Right.
But I've had multiple people say to me, I love the green initiatives at this company. I've seen it. I've enjoyed it as a customer, and I want to be a part of something bigger. And for me as a manager, now a district manager, to hear that makes me even more passionate for my community and for my stores and for the people that I'm bringing on board.
Right. What are some of the other initiatives that you guys have going at your stores?
A big one, which might sound like not a big deal, but it is to me, is how we've managed the use of our utilities. When I first came there, I noticed that all the lights were just dimmed at night, not turned off. I noticed that appliances like blenders were turned on at night, not unplugged. And I just asked, why are these on? Is there a reason? And they said, well, it's always been on. I'm just going to leave it on. And for me, I said, we have a security system. We have outside lights that automatically turn on when it gets dark. We don't need to leave the lights on in here. We don't need to leave the blenders plugged in. We don't need to have the fans on at night. We can just make this small change. We can load completely full loads of dish trays in the dishwasher to reduce our water output. And so that was a little bit trickier of a rhythm. For me personally, I've always lived alone, and every cent counts for my budget. And so I turn off the lights when I leave a room, and I make sure the water's off when I'm not using it. And to implement that in my store yielded about 30% utility savings in a 6-month period.
Wow.
And I haven't
that's a
checked
big
that.
number.
It is a big number. And I don't have the dollar amount, but I know that percentage is extraordinary. And I'm so proud of my team because that doesn't just come from me. That comes from everyone continuing that rhythm and realizing that we can conserve this energy and give back to our community and our environment. That savings is a great thing that we can always put back into the community. So,
well, in those types of things in the Portland area, Portland, Beaverton, Hillsborough, Gresham, we seem to have that idea that, these things matter.
Exactly.
And folks like to support businesses who are of the same mindset.
Exactly. And I found that people don't quite know our story. They eat at Laughing Planet. It's affordable, it's local, it's a good brand. That's always been a really big win for us. But I just keep wanting to take it a step further and educating our guests that, not only do we have locally sourced, ethical, good quality, affordable fare to feed so many different kinds of diets, we also care so much about our communities and our environment. And I want our guests to feel like they're a part of that story.
Yeah.
And, when I go around, checking on people, I'm just letting them know, did you know we compost? Or did you know that if you were to order your food to go and bring your own bag, I'll give you an extra stamp in your rewards card. And just to see how excited guests are to buy in makes me feel so good about where I'm at in my career and where I'm at in my community.
Right.
And just having people be a part of something, I feel that a lot of people don't know their identity, but if they feel a part of something important, they will feel that belonging and they will want it too.
Yeah, they start taking ownership, whether they're an employee or a customer.
Exactly.
Well, you mentioned the food aspect, and yes, locally sourced has always been a big deal. There was one other thing that I read about it, and that's the Food Alliance Certified Smart being grown in Washington State by family farms using the no-till method. And that's important because when you don't till it, you're leaving all the good stuff there, all the nutrients and stuff.
So there's less chance for erosion in the soil because of this. And this has been something that our company has been extraordinarily passionate about and dedicated to for years.
Yeah.
And another thing that most people don't know is when those beans come from our farm up in Washington, they don't get transported in cans. So we're not canning beans. We're not doing that process. They just come straight from farm to table with most of our products anyway. But we're saving so much aluminum, so much of that process that we can serve a great product that's also good for the planet. And it's such a great thing to just educate people on.
Right.
I'm really, really proud of our beans.
One other thing I heard is that Laughing Planet is expanding.
Correct.
So the challenges then of bringing that mindset to other parts of the Pacific Northwest, that's got to be something top of mind for managers and that sort of thing. Are you in those discussions on how to bring that to the new stores?
Yes, absolutely. Currently, we're working on being certified as a B Corporation, which is something that I couldn't be happier about.
Yeah.
Again, coming from a career past where that was something that didn't matter, going straight into a company where it's the focus of every day has been great. And I think that my mindset is a little bit heavier on the green business focus, but I'm so privileged to be a senior leader in this company where my voice matters and I can have that reminder. And I helped open a couple of the newer stores and just educated the team and promoted this good mentality. And I think that seeing that with all the new staff, if you start from the beginning, there's nowhere to go but up.
Right.
I have seen it be a little bit more challenging in some of the more tenured staffs and older stores, but I think that just people like me and you that are so driven, people want to be on board with that.
Yeah.
And I feel that over time, every single person in the company, new or old or tenured or starting on their first day will have this mindset. And I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Are you working on any other initiatives, either, in your district or company-wide, big or small, that's focused on sustainability?
Absolutely. So Cedar Mill's been my main focus. That store was mine for a very long time, and it's been really great to develop and cultivate my team and my community. So a lot of my focus there has been actually on waste management. I know that there are people of all different backgrounds that come to my store. There's extremely wealthy people, and there's students, and there's single people and families, and then there's also homeless people that come in and will eat at our restaurant, and we want to make sure that we support everybody. But a big part of that is to not waste food.
Yeah.
And so I've been extremely dedicated with my managers at that store to make sure that we order exactly what we need.
Yeah.
So that we will sell through what we've bought for each day. And by the end of the day, it's gone. And then the next day we get new things so that we're not wasting, ethically sourced and great products. We're not wasting the work of our exceptionally dedicated commissary staff. And then we're able to serve the community amazing products that we offer. And so I've been involved with a case study in the Metro about how we've managed our waste over time. And again, I apologize, I don't have any figures. Okay. I'm more of a visual person, so I can tell you, we went from wasting we would document everything that we wasted on a log, and then we would itemize it at the end of each month. And we went from about 2 pages a month when I first started to barely half a page now.
Wow.
And a lot of the waste that we see is sauces or garnishes. It's not actual full-on product.
Right.
And for me to just see that happen has been incredible, because I know that everything we have output is getting fed to somebody that loves our store. It's getting to nourish people. And so for me, again, I've done a lot of changes in the last 12 months, but the next step is to reduce waste completely of our product. And I'm pushing that a little bit harder in my other stores in my district. But again, I'm new, so I can't do too much at once. But in Lake Oswego, I'm pushing these initiatives as well. They had barely any recycling. So here I am a year later doing the exact same rhythm. Right. And it's awesome. And I kind of forgot how challenging it was at first to have everyone on board. But I went out the other day and I bought brand new recycling bins, and I made this huge wall, and I labeled every single bin, and I wrote down, this is what goes here. And then I'm actually developing a mission for our store. Like, what is our bottom line? And our bottom line is to be a leader in a city where there's not a lot of talk about green business initiatives. And I'm so excited to have my staff there with me on this mission. They're new and excited, and we're ready. And just the look on their faces when I came in with all these bins and all these signs that I had made was just, the best, and I'm excited to keep developing that.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Mel, for coming in. It was so great to meet you a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad we were able to have this conversation.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Thank you for joining me for my conversation with Mel Vinson, District Manager with Laughing Planet Restaurants. If you've missed any of the previous podcasts, you can find them at our website at KINK.FM. Be sure to like and subscribe to Talking Trash, a Green Tips podcast on Apple iTunes or wherever you're listening. Talking Trash is a podcast series featuring people in business, government, and nonprofits, and sometimes just regular folks in the Portland area and around Oregon who are having an impact in the world of sustainability. Talking Trash is brought to you by the Energy Management and Water Conservation programs at Lane Community College. Both our 2-year degree programs are fully online, and employment opportunities are growing in the water conservation and energy management fields. For more information on these online 2-year degree programs, go to nweei.org or find the direct links at KINK.FM. The energy and water programs are funded by the National Science Foundation, and scholarships are available. Talking Trash is also supported by Biketown. Biketown is Portland's bike share program with 1,000 bikes and over 100 stations across downtown and several neighborhoods. Now's the time to ride. Ride over to biketownpdx.com.